everybody. Welcome back to Phyto Foods Made Simple. This is podcast number 2, and this week we're going to be talking about all the satisfying starches that we're going to get to enjoy. That includes potatoes, legumes, and beans. Today, in particular, we're going to talk about a super simple dish with potatoes. It's just hash browns. The thing that makes it unique is that we're going to be frying them with no oil. That almost sounds like an oxymoron, huh? But you can actually make foods taste really delicious even without using the oil when you're frying and sauteing and all the different ways we cook. So what I'm going to do is take 2 potatoes, a half of a large yellow onion, and 3 carrots. I'm going to be chopping this up, and then we will throw them all together in a cast iron skillet. I'm starting with a hot cast iron skillet. It's already been heated and no liquid or anything has been added to it yet. What I'm going to do is add the potatoes first and start with those without adding any liquid. And then I'm going to throw in the onions as well. So I am going to move these around in the skillet. And this is what's different about when you cook without, when you saute or fry things without oil, is that you are going to add liquid, and what we're going to use is low sodium veggie broth as our liquid for this. But we're going to add it slowly and gradually and only as things stick. And actually in this case we want this to stick a little bit because that's how it's going to cook. We want it to get a little brown. That's what makes hash browns so yummy. Now right now the potatoes and the onions are beginning to sweat a little bit and release their own juices. So I'm going to still hold off, stir these around. And when you have, with cast iron, the reason I like to cook in a cast iron skillet is 1, I like the way it conducts the heat, and 2, it's actually really easy to cook things without adding fat when the pan is seasoned properly. And I'll give you a resource for that in class. Now I am going to go ahead and add a little bit of the veggie broth, but just a little bit. When you add liquid, you add a tablespoon or 2 at a time at the most, and then I won't add any again until it gets absorbed and starts to get dry again. We're about 10 minutes into this process, and I'm going to go ahead and add the carrots now. And the reason that I waited is because I have the carrots chopped up really small, as you can see. I diced the potatoes pretty small. I chopped the onions not quite as small, and then the carrots I chopped really little, and this is just personal preference. I just like this, again, this combination. Of course, you could add green pepper, you could add all kinds of stuff to this. This just happens to be a favorite combination of mine, and keeping it super simple. So I add the carrots after the fact because they're going to cook much quicker, and I like them to stay a little bit crunchy. It's now been about 30 minutes, and as you can see, the hash browns are nice and crunchy and brown. I did end up adding almost a whole cup of liquid, but gradually. And yes, you have to stay near the pan during the whole time you're cooking the hash browns because you have to move them around. But what I did is I just chopped up the stuff for my salad while I was doing that. So these are our beautiful hash browns. All right, now for the best part, get to eat them. So what I'm having for lunch is hash browns and a salad that I prepared while I was frying the hash browns. And what I'm going to top the hash browns with is a favorite combination of mine. It's actually the paste pecani salsa, again, mixed with just a little bit of ketchup. And you do need to use the organic ketchup when you're using ketchup because it doesn't have the high fructose corn syrup. It does have the evaporated cane juice, so yes, there's a little bit of sugar in it, but that's why I use like 3-4 parts salsa and then just a little bit of the ketchup. Now you could also top it with fresh pico de gallo, which we're going to be talking about in the teleclass. That's one of our, I think, 12 or 13 recipes that we're going to go over in class this week. But this is a shortcut if you don't happen to have the fresh pico de gallo, which I don't today. So how cool is it that you are going to get super lean and super healthy eating potatoes and hash browns, and not only being able to eat potatoes and hash browns, but being able to eat as much as you want. Because when you prepare them the Phyto Foods way, you can actually eat as big of a plate of hash browns as you want. Now, we tend to think of hash browns as a side dish, and that's another one of our key principles this week when we share Phyto's philosophy, is that we're going to focus on using the side dish as the main dish. And so, again, eat as much as you want, fill up on salad first. That was one of our principles from last week, and enjoy. Next week, we're going to talk about amazing grains. So look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, eat plant food.